Former President Jacob Zuma will continue to participate in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. However, a date has not been set for the resumption of his testimony. This after his legal team had indicated that he would be pulling out this morning. Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo has made the announcement following a meeting between the Commission's lawyers and the legal team of the former president.
The decision that the former president would no longer participate in the proceedings is withdrawn, and that the former president, I've been told, has indicated that he wishes to continue to cooperate with this commission. And his legal team also wish to continue to work with this commission.
Well, for more on this story, I'm joined in studio by our senior reporter, Mzwandile Mbeje. Mzwandile, a lot of toing and froing going on, but finally it seems as though the former President Jacob Zuma will continue. Just give us a bit of a background as to what happened today.
Well, Nombu, that was quite dramatic. I mean, at the beginning, when you had the legal team of the former president basically saying, we are now withdrawing. And then when it was time for the team, for the commission, basically saying, we are sticking to the rules. So you could see that no one was willing to back down. And of course, I think the Deputy Chief Justice realized that, you know what, there's so much at stake. And Mr. Zuma was there at the invitation of the Deputy Chief Justice. So can you imagine if that whole process failed? So the issue really, Nombu, was that the team for the former president felt that he was being cross-examined on issues that he had not been prepared on, and they felt it was no longer the inquisitorial situation they had been promised, and as a result, so they couldn't be part of it, and they even threatened to go to court. But I mean, the legal team of the commission was saying, no, there are issues that we need to check with the former president. 9 witnesses have mentioned his name, and then we want him to respond, whether it's cross-examining or not. But the fact of the matter is we have to put the question. So when that stalemate really was there, I think the Deputy Chief Justice, the chairperson of the commission, said, well, let's go to the chambers and see how we can resolve this. So it does appear that they had to reach a common ground. And I think they were avoiding invoking the subpoena issue, because once that is invoked, so basically you have no choice, you just have to go to the commission. But given that the legal team of the former president, Nombo, had said, so we think we are going to court, this was going to really take long.
Absolutely. So obviously a date has not been determined for his testimony, but do we expect it to be sometime soon?
I'm not sure by soon. What do we mean? Because the process of both legal teams, of course, including the former president, meeting, because what will happen is that the issues that the team wants to ask will then put them to the former president to say, we want to quiz him on these issues. They're
going to do basically what he wanted them to do in the first place.
Basically.
Give him the questions before. Yeah.
Yes. And then that must be done within the next 2 weeks. And then they must set a time frame, because he needs to go back to the commission. And if the two teams can't agree on the time frames, they must report back to the chairperson, and then the chairperson will then be able to resolve that situation, because I think they want really to do this thing as soon as possible. Remember, it's August, just around the corner, and the mandate of the commission expires on the 30th of March, and the chairperson had said he wants to be done by oral presentations by December. And we still have a lot more people to come. Even the president is still expected to come at some point.
Sure, it's a lot, isn't it? Okay, so moving away from the former president, what can we expect to happen next week at the State Capture Inquiry?
So when we then adjourned, the chairperson said, I think the issues that have to do with the Estina dairy farm in the Free State. So will have to be dealt with. We've had a bit of testimony around there. So I think it's back to the normal work of the commission.
Yes, you did speak earlier in the week to Ace Magashule, the Secretary General of the ANC. So presumably he'll be one of the people speaking?
And well, not necessarily, I guess, but he has basically said, Nombu, so he is willing to go to the commission if it calls, because he says the people have been given the opportunity to say whatever they say, so he's waiting for the commission to furnish him with the proper arrangements for him to come and answer to some of the issues really that have been raised, so which will be very interesting.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that report back. My colleague there, Mzwandile Mbeje, reporting on the State Capture Inquiry.